Hello, hello. Happy Monday, everyone. Oh my goodness. It has been a crazy day today, for sure. I'm going to go ahead and light this little incense to bring some cleansing energy in here. I hope you're all having a beautiful day, and if not, I hope it gets better from here. Thank you for spending your time with me today. So, let's start our day off. Gosh, it's been a good vibe thus far, right? I was really channeling some Japanese vibes, so someone here may be Japanese. So first and foremost, let's get into channeled messages, and then I will get into the actual reading. First and foremost, I have two songs that I channeled today, which was How Will I Know by Arrow J, and I'm Gonna Make Her Mine by Sega Sound Team and Kensuke Inage. The numbers 616, 606, and 333 also showed up today, as well as plantar fasciitis, violets, begonias, and interestingly enough, the game Yakuza 0 or Ryuga Gotoku 0 Chikai no Basho was also relevant, so someone may be a fan of that. Begonias were also relevant too, so that may be relevant for someone. So let's get into it. Let's see what is going on here. If you hear background noises, that's my kiddo living his best life. We're not going to worry about him, okay? So, how are you all doing today? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let's see. What astrological sign is this reading going to be in? Looks like the third house for communication. Interesting. So we have communication. It's also the realm of siblings. So that's really interesting. And let's see what else. Let's see what sign this is going to be in today. 10 for Capricorn. So Capricorn in the third house. Interesting. Okay, no problem. Let's get into the runes right after, because we want more details. Details on what this is. Capricorn in the third house. So definitely someone who's very straight to the point, business-minded, stable, earth energy in their communication style. Show me more, Spirit. Some runes here. We have Perthro for fate. Perthro for fate. And we have Othala for legacy or ancestors. Fated legacy? Wow, that's ominous. Okay, like, that sounds really woo-woo out of nowhere. Let's get into charms. Hello, hi. In the charm. Tell me more. Interesting. Okay. So we have the crystal ball for intuition. So we have some intuition going on here. The angel charm for, again, that's mirroring the Othala for legacy, ancestors, guardian angels, those types of things. And we have the bell here for bells often, hello, hi. Bells often represent in spirituality and magical practices. They're for clearing negativity. So that's interesting. So kind of like divine nudges, divine protection from negativity, divine messages towards that. So that's really interesting. Let's see. Let's dive into the tarot and see what else we can get from this. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your likes, your shares, for interacting with me. Oh, thank you. Let's get into it. I'm feeling the Rider-Waite Tarot. Let's see. And again, I hope all of you have a beautiful day. If you haven't been having a good day today, then I hope it gets better from here. So let's see what's going on with the collective. We just had a Gemini full moon as well, so it's interesting that the house of communication would come up in Capricorn, who's definitely not pulling any punches. Thank you all for being here. So, what's going on with the collective today? Let's tap in. 007. That's funny. Someone here might like James Bond. What's going on with the collective today? Don't be shy. This is a collective reading, not a personal read. I don't really feel comfortable doing those because I don't like putting everybody's dirty laundry on the internet. If you do want a personal reading, I offer that at the link in my bio. Feel free to check that out. So we have the Page of Pentacles in the reversed. Okay. The Page of Pentacles upright usually indicates a small opportunity in the material realm, right? Can you clarify, please, Spirit? This is supposed to be communication, but we have pentacles popping right in. I mean, Capricorn makes sense. Business communication. Can you clarify the Page of Pentacles in the reverse here for me, Spirit? Does this mean like perhaps a job opportunity fell through or something of that nature? Or what exactly are we getting at here? Or maybe we were waiting to hear from someone and it didn't go through. Hi, hello. Clarify this Page of Pentacles. Don't be shy. They showed up for the reading. Let's give them the answers. I see some undercurrents here with the flipped over cards. So I do see some form of communication from an earth sign that hasn't happened in regards to the material realm. It's like I see it, but if it doesn't come out, I generally tend to ignore it. It's kind of like it's not ready to come out yet, or it's a blocked message. Okay. So some truth, definitely communication, right? Because swords represent thoughts and words. Heavy communication vibes here. Some sort of truth around a Page of Pentacles, like a new business opportunity, some form of material realm, right? The numbers I got earlier definitely were regarding clearing anxieties, concerns, and limiting belief patterns, as well as a heavy focus on the material realm needing to be released and given to spirit, to your ancestors, and to shift more into the spiritual practice of manifestation. Yes. As well as 333, meaning your prayers have been answered, spirits heard what you wished for. Now they need for you to relax and let them have it. Yes, it's like encouragement and support. So tell me more about this communication that hasn't come in, or has come in and we found out it wasn't necessarily what we were hoping it would be. There you go. What? Original? Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, that was my kiddo. He's being a goofball. We have this King of Wands here. King of Wands. Could be an opportunity for a leadership position. Doesn't have to be, but King of Wands typically is like a leadership position, or you could have been waiting for this specific offer from a King of Wands, a fire sign. Hi, R, hello. So it's like, it's kind of giving the vibes of definitely some form of business communication that didn't quite, either didn't happen, like it's like someone flaked out and didn't provide it, or you found out it was like a scam or wasn't worth the effort. That's so strange. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's like, we have a star here. I have to censor her because her bits and bobs are out. Kind of one of the problems of the Rider-Waite, but we have a star here. So, like, whatever this was, yeah, the star. So the star typically represents healing. It represents healing. So whatever this is, it's like, that would explain why you would have some anxieties around this, because it would be like healing around financial things, right? That would explain that. So like there could be a moment in time right now of anxiety or worry around this specific job opportunity or money. But it's like for some reason, why is this healing though? What a strange, we'll get into it. We'll figure it out. Let's tap into the collective here, Spirit. Let's hone in and get a bit more specific. What is this, like, this little bit of money? It's like Page of Pentacles is like a small amount of money. It's usually like starting something new. It's definitely new energy. And it's around the material realm. So like businesses, careers, money, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it's like, it's reversed. So we haven't quite tapped into it yet. And again, if it's a communication, it hasn't come in yet, or we learned that it wasn't what we thought. So it's like, it's interesting because we have the Truth here with the Ace of Swords, the King of Wands with a leadership position that's very motivating, inspiring, you know, leading with desire and passion. And then we have healing here, but the Page of Pentacles is in reversed. Let's clarify. Let's get it. Let's dig deeper, Spirit, because I want to know what this is about. Help me hone in on this. It's like fate and ancestry coming in, blocking out negativity. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So that's literally the start of the material. The start of the material. It's like not taking the hand that's given. You see how it's a hand in the clouds? It's literally a gift from Spirit, and it's asking if you want to go through the gate to the abundance. But it's like we're not making that choice. Yeah, and with I got the plantar fasciitis earlier, which often indicates feeling stuck, not knowing whether to move forward or not. And begonias is a fresh start. Maybe we're being too humble. Maybe we feel like we're not really worthy of this new opportunity, and that's kind of why we're not going for it. Ooh, goodness gracious. User error. User error. Yeah, we're feeling chaotic. I'm like dropping all my stuff. Yeah. We're feeling a bit chaotic here. Like we're not sure how to proceed. But it's like we're focusing a bit too heavy on this because we're anxious over it. Thank you. The Magician. Yeah. It's like we're trying to call it in. We're trying to manifest that in, but we're at this point where we're a bit anxious. Tell me more. Yeah, I see this like, oh, that undercurrent of trying to walk away. Trying to walk away from something. It's so chaotic. Yeah. I notice my cards are not shuffling like they usually do. Thank you all for being here again as I figure this out. This wild energy coming in here. Trying to come forward, trying to make this happen. Interesting. Oh, we have the King of Swords in the sideways. So yeah, when I see cards in sideways like this, when I see them like this, that often tells me that that's where we're currently at, and it can go either way, right? The King of Swords is often, you know, they're Aquarius-based, they're very heavy air energy. They are very much in their expression, so thoughts, very mercurial energy, thoughts, words, very logically brained, analytically minded, right? They very much, how do I put it? They lead with smarts, they're very intelligent, right? They look at facts, they're very research heavy, but they are also very fair, right? So they're the type of person that you want their opinion because they're going to give it to you honestly without hurting your feelings, but you know it's going to be true, right? In the reverse, that's someone who's extremely hypercritical, someone who's very cruel with their words, and people who tend to be so over analytical that they forget to follow their own heart, right? When it's in the upright, it's like a really good balance of both with a predisposition towards logical brain thinking. So kind of like following your passion, but finding a good plan to do so. Whereas the other side is, I'm not allowed to have feelings. I'm not allowed to have desires. I'm not allowed to do all this because it's not safe, stable, whatever the case may be, whatever new reason we've picked this week on why that's not going to work, right? Yeah, because the red in here, so like the King of Wands and the King of Swords here, right? And the King of Wands is all about leading with passion and very much confidence and the heart base, right? The King of Swords is very much leading with the mind and with the voice, right? As well as with passion and confidence. So we definitely have this motivation to do something, right? To bring some form of healing, but we're still in this feeling of, I want to bring something, but I am not sure which way to go, what that something is. Should I start it? Should I not? Back and forth. Would it make sense to do so? Would this realistically make sense for me to do this new thing, or would it make sense not to? Yes. Okay, we're getting in. Yeah, it's like I'm afraid to go forward. I feel stuck. Yeah, I feel stuck. Tell me more. I feel very stuck on which way to go because I can't quite decide if following my passion is the logical thing to do. Yes. Oh, I see this devil here. I can't show you because their bits and bobs are out, so let me censor them. Oh, boy. You know, you gotta love the Rider-Waite Tarot. They did not care at all about that kind of stuff, but the internet does. So, we have the devil here. And the devil is all about vices, addictions. We're very much too materially focused. And that doesn't always mean, like, I'm not saying that you're so in, like, you're not greedy. You're not necessarily, like, attached to money. But it means, like, we're very much in the 3D. Will this be financially sound? Will this be financially safe? How can I realistically do this? We're very much more in the what can I do in my physical body right now, and how will I be able to make it month to month, that kind of thing. Instead of relying on spirit, we're trying to figure out how can I make this opportunity happen, right? And it gets us in our head. We get in the negative spiral think. We get a bit too like, what if I'm not enough? What if I can't call this into fruition? What if I'm unable to bring this in? What if this new thing fails? And yada, yada, yada. All the different reasons why it could go, all the reasons why it could go belly up, right? That's usually what happens when we get into double thinking, because it's very much these self-sabotaging patterns we repeat, as well as our shadow side. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a defense mechanism we've picked up along the way. And oftentimes it comes up because it's trying to protect us. And sometimes that protection can be a little harmful, you know? Yeah, it would be the time where, so for example, a good example of double energy, especially with Capricorn, that's funny. So it'd be like, I have this new opportunity to switch careers, but perhaps we tried to switch careers before and it didn't quite work out, so we had to return to the old job. And so now every time you think about switching your careers, your inner critic goes, well, remember the last time we tried that? Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, remember the last time we tried that? Remember how that didn't work out? Maybe you should stay where you're at. You know, like that kind of thing. That's kind of what the shadow side represents. It's trying to prevent you from getting hurt, even though you have no idea whether it will or will not work out until you try. Yes. And that's kind of where we're at. We're in that back and forth. Yeah, because we want to be more in a balanced energy, right? This is someone who's able to give while also receiving. They have enough to give to others, right? So we definitely want to be in this, right? That's where we want to be. But we often feel like, yeah, oh my gosh, that's a lot of sevens. Or that's a 7 and a 5. Oh, weird. 5, 6, 7. That's funny. Huh. Progression, steps forward. Okay, so we are working through this little thought process here. Because we feel like defensive. We feel like everybody has an opinion on what we should and should not be doing, whether that's currently or it's in the past. And then we also feel like it's like we have to be kind of strategic. It kind of feels like everyone says, what's the word? Oh, thank you so much. It feels like, what's the word? Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. This energy of I have to do things in a shady way to get ahead because everyone's trying to come for what I want, right? It's like trying to be strategic, but sometimes that can be harmful. But it's weird that it's out of, you see how it's out of order? How we have the 6, 5, 7 here instead of 5, 6, 7? And it's interesting that it's all different elements. So we have the thoughts and the words here, communication. We have the material realm, and then we have our inspiration and motivation, but they're out of order. So it's like we're trying to be right here in this beautiful like balance and harmony of our finances, of our material realms. Yeah, 6, 5, 7. It's out of order. But we also have this is probably the shadow side. I feel like this is more of the shadow side energy of feeling like in order to prevent people from hurting us and bashing our motivations and our desires, 444 popped in for foundations and security. In order to become more stable in life, it feels like societal thinking. You have to end up on top. You have to fight your way to the top, right? Welcome back, Har. But it's interesting that we have this feeling here of being out of order. And how I was shuffling earlier, this chaotic, like everything going everywhere. We're definitely still trying to get past that thinking, that thought process of I have to always be 5 steps ahead of everybody else, and I have to get my way to the top and then stay up there. Like that's kind of what it's feeling like. But again, Spirit's saying we're too focused on the material. They want you to give, intuition, follow your intuition. They want you to give those concerns to them and to focus more, like you want to manifest, but you're not doing the spiritual part, right? And a lot of people consider the spiritual part woo-woo, but let me explain something. The more you work on yourself, the more that you go after things yourself, and the more you believe in yourself, the stronger your relationship is with Spirit. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. I love to hear that. So when you are going towards your goals, when you are trying to bring things in, you are actively manifesting, right? But you're forgetting the part where you have to also, we have to also work on this mindset, right? We can't have the new if we feel like we always have to take, right? Yeah. Yeah, if we hold on to those limiting belief patterns, it kind of makes it to where we go into scarcity mindset, where we feel like we have to hoard away all of our financial resources, and then we forget how to enjoy our lives. Because we're too busy being worried that someone's going to come take it from us, so that we're going to lose it somehow, and we forget to enjoy it. So the accruing of financial goods becomes this never-ending hoarding, and then you can't hold on to it because you're always worried that it's going to fall out of your hands. And so you manifest that it falls out of your hands by overspending, by things going wrong, things of that nature, right? We don't ever get the discipline or just enjoying the money, because money is an energy exchange. In order to get more, you must spend it. If you never do anything with your money, it gets stagnant. You know what I mean? If you never make risky moves in your career, you can't ever advance. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. I love that all. I'm focusing, so I'm sorry I'm not reading the whole chat. I'm trying to not be distracted, but I love that you guys are having a beautiful little conversation over there. What's up, little man? What's up? What do you need? What do you need, buddy? What are you trying to do? Oh, you want this one? Okay. You guys give me 1 second. I'm the only one up right now, so let me help my little guy out. Minecraft. And I will get back into it. So sorry. Someone here could be a parent. Maybe a single parent, I don't know. But someone might have to balance those kinds of things along with their business, with their work, which can get a little difficult at times. But I see a lot of smoke coming in, so a lot of cleansing. Lots of cleansing coming in here from the spiritual realms, from your ancestors. Yeah, they want you to follow your intuition on this. Remember that you cannot get more in life if you are so afraid of losing that you never take those opportunities. There you go, buddy. Good job. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. So let's get more into it before I move into the next part. I want to help you guys. Yeah, feeling like we have to be strategic. It's like we feel like we have to like take mindsets, take words, take things in the thought realm in order to gain our self-confidence, right? It's kind of like, this would be kind of similar to when you look at interview tactics. Looking at interview tactics in order to convey a specific image to the company you want to get hired at, right? It would be learning body language, learning how to, learning body language, learning how to utilize certain keywords in order to make yourself sound better than the competition, things like that. So like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely feels like this feeling of, I can't really do new things because I won't be able to showcase myself the right way. I won't have all the experience coming up. Definitely, if it's a shift in careers, it's like it's a whole new start. You're like, how would I even break out in this field? How could I possibly like make myself look better if I'm brand new, you know? Yeah, especially with the yellow, it's like trying to fake the confidence instead of having the confidence. Yeah, and this is the same thing here, trying to manifest more confidence in our financial decisions. All this yellow, right? Yellow is all about self-confidence, right? Because it goes with your solar plexus. Yes, so trying to fake the funk. Got it. I got you. I see you. We're in. I'm tapped in here. We're trying to fake the funk even though we ourselves are not yet confident. We're not yet as confident as we want to be. And our confidence may be directly tied to our financial resources or our career. So starting new would be scary because like I already have something going here. I already feel like I already look successful. But if I start new, how will I be perceived then? Yeah, it's the self-worth tied with the resources. Got it. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're at. Yeah, that's where we're at. Is it safe for me to do so? Does it make logical sense for me to swap into something new? Does it make logical sense? And that that devil popping up being like, well, here's all the reasons why that wouldn't work. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't start over new because you've been doing this for so long. And if you're new, you'll be behind, right? Say you're an older person, right? Because we have kings here. So that's someone who's a bit more in their 30s and up, right? They're someone who, like they've already put time into a specific career. Doesn't have to be specifically that age range. It could also mean like you're a management position, things of that nature. Like you've put time into whatever this is, whatever career avenue this is. A lot of research, a lot of heart, a lot of learning. It could even be like a college degree specifically in that thing, and we want to do something completely unrelated. And we're like, well, what did I even do all that for? I have this degree, I have this experience, I've had this position for this long. And if I start new, I'll be behind because the other people there are younger, perhaps, or they have a degree pertaining to that. So how can I stand above the competition? Yes. I love that you took the leap recently. That's beautiful. Oh, with Labradorite too? My goodness. Yes. Yeah, okay. Got a lot there, but let's see if it comes out. So I definitely see that we're trying to figure out how to do it in a way that makes sense. And also trying to be fair to ourselves, right? Because the King of Swords also, you see how on his throne he has this butterfly here? Butterflies represent transformation, right? We have these little birds right? Messengers from the divine, this feeling of freedom, of flight, taking flight. Yeah, it's like trying to figure out how to bring that into our life. Oh, I also noticed all these little angels here in the background. These little angels kind of whispering in your ear. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That makes total sense. A lot of people get into the nursing industry because they've been told their whole lives that that's the stable career. But in all actuality, nursing is hard. I mean, most jobs are hard, right? But nursing especially, right? You have crazy hours. You don't get paid enough. I mean, you get paid a lot, but not enough, right? Not enough for the shifts, the extreme stress, being, especially if you were one of the ones during the pandemic, having to stay stuck while everyone else was masked up and away from dangerous things, being stuck in it. You're exposed to people's illnesses, people's injuries. You see some of the worst things that can happen to a person, and you have to go home after that and go to bed. Yeah, like it's kind of that vibe of being like, we don't want it to be like, I've been here and I feel like this has been a waste of my time. And I use quotations there because nothing is ever wasted. That's kind of a thing that we're taught, that the degree we did, the work we did somehow are mitigated by us pivoting. Yeah. So like, for example, if you're like, oh, I really hate this nursing job, I want to get into, I don't know, welding, right? Oh, well, I spent all this time and money on my degree and all this stuff. How could I possibly use that over here? But if you were to get into welding and something were to happen to someone, you would have knowledge of how to handle it. You would be able to handle things differently. You would be bringing a new perspective in. You didn't just automatically, like, that knowledge, that experience doesn't just go away because you started. Yes, exactly. Like, you bring something new to the table. Yeah, because now you already know how to work under pressure. You already know how to work under sleep deprivation. Please don't work in sleep deprivation, but you know what I mean. You already know what it's like to work in high pressure situations. So you would stand above the rest because you'd be bringing that in. Hierophant, yes. Yeah, this is like, I always find this interesting to see this because the Hierophant represents spirit, religion, authority, institutions, things of that nature. Clarify the Hierophant here. Because it's like, that could be traditions that we're trying to follow, or it could be a spirit trying to guide us. So clarify here for me. It could also be trying to find loopholes, because we do have the intuitive loopholes. Are you crazy? Intuitive loopholes. What? No way. Hold on. Let me clarify. I want to make sure, because like, that's crazy. If you are ballsy. Okay. Intuitive loopholes on how to get ahead of the system. That's hilarious. Please let that be the way. Because I got, like I said earlier at the beginning when I did the channeled synchronicities and stuff, I got Yakuza 0, which is very much getting ahead of the system. Yes. So can you clarify this Hierophant right here, Spirit? Is that really intuitive shortcuts? I'm feeling like it is because it's looking right at the Hierophant. Thank you. The Sun reversed. Interesting. So it's like intuitive shortcuts on how to get past the system built on unhappiness. Hats off to you, friend. I also love mods. 3 of Wands. Yeah, making plans. And that shift in perspective. Interesting. What? Intuitive strategies on the rules around, it's like societal expectations of you being unhappy, not like everyone's miserable, so you must be. And then making plans on a perspective shift. What on earth? And we have the Lovers here, which again, I got all their bits and bobs are always out. I love the Rider-Waite Tarot and that stuff, but I hate that the internet is so sensitive about bits and bobs. So let's see. I'm going to censor that. So the Devil and the Lovers are two sides of the same coin, right? Whereas the Devil is more focused towards the material. I don't know how I'm going to hold both these up without it. So the Devil and the Lovers are two sides of the same coin. I'm just going to flip this one over. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay. There we go. The Lovers and the Devil, two sides of the same coin, right? Now we see with the Lovers here, our divine feminine selves, our creative sides, our gentle sides, not gentle, our creative sides, our nurturing sides, our the part of us that brings all the creative ideas to the table is looking up at spirit, at our intuition, right? Whereas our masculine side, our ambitious go-getter energy, all of our passion and our fire is looking towards our divine feminine side for guidance, right? She gets her guidance from spirit. He gets his guidance from her. He gets it from spirit, right? That balances in order to create all this beautiful scenery. You see in the background here, goodness gracious. You see in the background here how everything's really green and lively and there's a mountain and all that stuff, right? If we sit in our divine feminine for too long, we kind of end up in passivity. We don't ever do anything. We kind of have all these ideas floating around and we never really go anywhere. Our masculine, if we sit in it for too long, we try to make things happen so much that we go into burnout, right? It kind of just burns everything around us. We never have anything new. We're just chasing. Chasing without direction, going after things without any direction. That's usually how we end up in careers we don't like. We end up feeling like we have no purpose because we're just going along with no real pull towards anything, right? And the Devil card, right, is the embodiment of that, right? You see how in the Devil card, the feminine is no longer looking towards spirit. She's looking towards the masculine, right? They're looking at each other. So when we're too much in our divine masculine, you see all that fire here, it becomes all consuming. We're chained to our inner thoughts here. We're chained to our more devil side. And when we're in the feminine, you see how she went from that beautiful tree to just this little grape here? Originally, she had this big, beautiful tree behind her, full of abundance and all that stuff. But now she just has this little grape. That's kind of what it's like. We're chained to each other and we kind of forget, like our masculine and feminine sides forget what it even was all for. Yeah. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're balancing, we're doing that shift perspective in order to get into the divine version, the more balanced, the healthier version, where we actually look to spirit for guidance and we balance out our motivations with our creativity. Yes, it's not easy because our divine feminine side is the side that receives, and we are not in this society. We are not taught how to receive, not at all. And I know someone out there is going to be like, yeah, I know how to receive. Okay, when was the last time you took a compliment and actually thanked the person and like really felt it, right? When was the last time you asked for help and got it and you didn't go, no, you shouldn't help me, yada, 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 yada. Gave them all the reasons why they shouldn't help you out. Okay, those types of things. If you are currently back and forth on whether or not you should go after a job that you feel would be better suited to you, I hate to break it to you, but you are not good at receiving things currently yet, right? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to manifest this perspective shift in order to get ourselves into more of a flow of knowing when to chase after things, when to have that ambition, when to go after things, when to be our go-getter selves, and when to receive. When it's time to stop overextending, when it's time to relax, when it's time to rest and let the results of all of our work come in. So let's get into, we have our what is happening. So let's get into why you need me specifically to be telling you this right now, why you even showed up here in this reading. So let's see. I'm looking at my tarot here and Steampunk wants to talk today. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I have a video playing here with all the music you're hearing, and right now it's bright blue for expression, bright yellow for that confidence, and a little bit of pink for heart healing. So that's interesting. Hello, Taylor. So let's get into why you need to hear this at this time. Why do you need to hear this at this time? Because, I mean, I can tell you where you're at. You're already aware. But why do you need to be told it at this time? Again, I saw fated ancestry, fated destiny. Like, so weird. Fated legacy. And ancestral protection from negativity. Intuitive nudges. I'm glad that things are doing a little bit better, Taylor. I hope you're doing better and that you're feeling better. I know you've been having a rough time lately. Thank you for keeping me updated. I hope it gets better for you. Why, hello again, Henri. So, why do they need to hear this at this time, Spirit? Why does the collective need to hear this message at this time? And I wish you luck on your journey as well, Taylor. I know it's been a rough ride. Luck and healing, for sure. Oh my goodness, I see 11, so yeah. Manifestation. So we're definitely manifesting. We're trying to manifest more confidence. We're trying to manifest something better for ourselves. And we're just kind of going back and forth on whether we actually want to do it or not, like whether it would actually be good for us. Thank you. Oh, we have 2. That King of Swords and the... Oh, no. So why is simple. King of Swords and the King of Wands in reversed. You know how we got the King of Wands upright earlier and we got the King of Swords sideways earlier? That's funny. Because the King of Wands in the reversed is all about, like, I'm going to be careful how I say it because there are times where I'll just say it as it is and people will take it the wrong way. The King of Swords, again, in the upright, very fair, very logical minded, very just, right? They definitely do their research. They know what they're doing and they go forth that way. They're also very honest in their communication. The King of Wands, though, the King of Wands, when they're upright, is a very inspirational leader. They lead with motivation. They lead with passion. They're just as much a good leader as they are the King of Swords. In the reverse, though, they don't feel like they're a good enough leader. They don't feel like they're as good of a leader as the King of Swords. And they often will project, right? What they'll do is they're the type of person where whenever they feel like they're not being treated like the king, they will demand everyone treat them like the king. So it's kind of like, you must respect me because I'm this position, instead of just showing up and being the king. It's kind of like looking for the validation to earn your crown, right? That's kind of like where we're at. We want it to make sense. We want our motivations, like, it's like we want to show that we're capable at this new thing before we've even started. Yeah, it's like we want the respect of being the King of Swords here as the King of Wands before we've even started. Yeah, before we've even been the page. So that's why. It's like, yeah, and there's that moon, right? We have this, we're wearing an armor right now. We're kind of being a little bit guarded towards it. Huh. Okay. Yeah, high expectations. It's like you've been a manager for so long that when you come into a new position, you want people to treat you like the manager, even though you're not a manager right now. And they have no idea what kind of manager you are yet. So like it's like coming from being shift lead to being a team member, and you're expecting people to treat you like a shift lead. And that's kind of why we're back and forth in our head, because it's like, can I handle being new again? Yes. Oh no. We got 3 here. We have the 7 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, and feeling like, okay. Also feeling like that energy of, yeah, we don't want to be combative. We want to leave behind this combative energy, because earlier it's like fighting everyone back. We don't want to do that anymore. But when you come in and you want everyone to treat you like you already know what you're doing, you kind of ask for people to put their opinions onto you because you're new. Yeah, we have the Hierophant here in the reversed. Yeah, so yeah, we're worried that we want to break the pattern and the tradition of having to you're welcome. We want to break the pattern and the tradition of fending off everybody's unsolicited opinions. We have that 10 of Pentacles here too. So yeah, we want the legacy. We want the everything. That's what we want. The 10 of Pentacles is like the ultimate, it's legacy. Like I said, legacy. We want the legacy. But we're afraid of starting over. We're afraid of people looking down on us because we're new. No, people don't look down on you because you're new. Anybody who does, yikes. That's a problem within themselves. It has nothing to do with you, okay? Thank you so much, Padaka. Thank you. So that's kind of where we're at. We're a bit hesitant because we want to start new, but we don't want to be new. Oh, no. Well, you can't go into new things expecting to be a master before you even started. Even if you have a degree in it, even if you like go study on it, you still have to learn through experience, right? Like you graduate culinary school knowing how to do all different types of things, but you get into the food industry and they teach you all kinds of new things. You have to be open to learning. You're with new people who don't know who you are yet. They haven't had the chance to learn the cool things you have to bring in. So you can't expect them to just refer to you as the person with all the information, right? Especially if they've been there longer, right? Because they have more experience, whereas you're just starting. That doesn't mean they think less of you. You have to prove it. But that also doesn't mean you have to sit in there and demand everybody respect you and feel like you're not enough because you're not at the manager position yet, right? It's just that little bit of time of showing up, being a little new, being uncomfortable, right? We have to put ourselves in those uncomfortable places in order to evolve and transform, right? Thank you so much for the roses. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your likes, your comments. You've all been so wonderful today. I mean, you're wonderful every day, but you've been so active and talkative today. I love it. I'm trying to keep up with chat, but I want to make sure I'm not getting distracted from the message here. Yeah. Tell me more on why they need to hear this at this time, Spirit, because I definitely feel like we feel this need to, it's like external validation, needing to be shown that the jump was worth the jump. Aw, I'm so happy I showed up on your FYP too. Yeah, definitely that feeling. It's like it's this need for validation, this need to be shown that you made a good decision based on how other people treat you, how they are like, oh, wow, you're such a good leader and all that stuff, but you haven't had the chance to lead yet. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Spirit. 3 more. And more of this 7 of Swords energy. Yeah, feeling like we have to get ahead. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is all about shortcuts. Right? The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. They're all about showing up every day, doing the work, and plugging in. But when I see the 7 of Swords here and the Knight of Pentacles, that tells me we want to take shortcuts. We don't want to show up and do that work, which is fair. Who wants to work? Like, who really wants to do that, right? But we have the Ace of Cups here, right? How are you going to enjoy the process of starting over new? How are you going to enjoy this process of learning, of being in it, of really like, how are you going to enjoy the route, enjoy the scenery if you're too busy trying to get to the end before you've even started? We're trying to skip steps. Oh no, I know someone's upset because I know they've heard it many times. Yeah, there's this energy of trying to rush. And no one likes the rush. No one likes to be told that they're rushing themselves. Yeah. Oh, okay. We have the Five of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, and the Hermit in reversed. See, it's like we're feeling a bit, yeah, we don't want to show up and do the like long transition. We want to be at the King of Wands already. And that's kind of got us in this, yeah, this yeah, we feel like if we're new, people are going to look down on us because for some reason we have this belief that being new means lesser. And that Page of Wands, that Page of Wands. Now, I'm glad to see this upright because in the reverse, that would mean comparison, right? The Page of Wands upright means that we're inspired. We're seeing other people. We're seeing people that we want to go after, and we are inspired by these people. Now, something to remember so that you don't get into comparison mode is the things that inspire you in another person are already inherently within yourself. You just have to learn how to unlock it. You know what I mean? So maybe you see someone who's really good at this position that you want. You see how charismatic they are. You see how they interact with others. And you're like, man, that's so inspiring. I want to be like that. Well, you are already like that, my friend. You just have to learn how to do that, right? You don't have to fake the funk necessarily, like I see up here, this whole faking the confidence. No, it's more of figuring out the resources, the knowledge on how to be more self-confident so that you're not always stuck in a cycle of pretending to be confident, right? And the Hermit in reverse, that is also, it's like the Hermit in reverse has two meanings, right? It can mean either isolation or it can mean coming out of your shell. So when I see it with the Page of Wands, it's more of a, we're inspired to come out of our shells, right? Being inspired to come out of our shells. Right now, we may feel like we don't necessarily have those capabilities yet. And again, this thing of if I'm new at something that somehow makes me lesser than, I'm somehow not qualified to become this King of Wands. So, something about that. I somehow am lacking in leadership qualities. You're not, friend. Not at all. You're already the King of Swords. You're already the King of Swords. You're already a king in one department. Now you have to start and be a page and then a knight and then get through the journey, right? It's all about building up those skills, building up that knowledge, and building up the experience to be able to stand in your confidence. Yes. And we have here the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so more of that, like, that scarcity mindset. Now, this is upright, so it's not necessarily the reverse where it would be complete scarcity mindset, right? It's more of like holding on to resources, trying to save. Yeah, we're trying to get more into our being out of our shell, being better with our finances, making better decisions in our career fields, in our communication styles as well, being more communicative in those types of ways in order to get to the King of Wands, to where people will be inspired, like how we're inspired in the people in the position we're trying to go to or are in. It's, I want to be that inspirational person. I want to be that motivational person, right? So we're trying to, like, that's what we want to be. That's what we look towards. But we're trying to skip the, you got to learn how to do that, friend. You can't just pretend. You can't just skip the tortoise and the hare comes to mind. You gotta plug in at it. You gotta do the work. Otherwise you don't learn how. If you were handed that leadership position today in a field you're not really sure how to do yet, you wouldn't be there for very long because you wouldn't know how to hold it. You have to build the knowledge and the discipline to be able to hold the thing you want, right? That's why it's important to enjoy the process and to be hungry for knowledge, to learn from the people you're inspired by, to when they say, oh, well, in order to become more confident, I did XYZ. I looked into these types of resources, and then you go look into them, right? Yes. If you like the lifestyle of that person and you listen to them, you will become like them. Not a perfect copy, but you will learn the tools to be able to maintain that position, to be able to maintain those decent finances, right? But you can't skip steps or else it'll fall out of your hands. And not because you're incapable, right? But because you didn't necessarily pick up the tools to hold on to it. Yeah, that's not a dig at you. You're perfectly capable of doing it. But if you don't know how are you going to, Yeah, it's kind of like teaching a kid how to pour from a cup, from a pitcher. If they don't know how to hold it or tilt it correctly, they get water everywhere. It's the same thing. You don't know how to do it yet. So of course it's not going to work. And your logic brain, so I know you're picking up what I'm putting down. I know you're getting what I'm putting down. I know you are. You're intelligent. You're already smart. So you already know you're going to have to do a little bit of research and do a little bit of learning. Yes. Yep. That tower. Interesting. Yeah, because like that will be, that tower and that magician manifesting the thing. Yeah. I think it's a good analogy. It really is. Because like, how on earth are you expected to just put the water in the cup if you don't know how to pour the, same principle. We often forget that there's a process that we have to learn. We often think, oh, I'm capable. And it's like, you are capable, but you don't know how yet. You'll learn easily. You're smart, little magician. And we want to manifest that new thing. We want to manifest it. Now, if we manifest it, if we want to manifest this tower, if we want to manifest this big positive change, right? The tower can go either way. It can either be a life-altering event that goes really bad, really fast, or it can be a really good event, right? Because that's like proposals, promotions, that type of thing. Towers are just really big life changes. They break away foundations, right? If we're trying to get to the top, if we're trying to get to this top here, we're trying to get here before we've even properly built this into the tree, the first lightning strike that hits it will crash it all down, right? That's why we need to learn how to do it, right? Yes. But if you don't know that, you can't, like, how would you do that realistically? So you have to learn the skills. You have to learn how to do it. Yeah, if you want to be a motivational person, you have to learn how to be motivational. You have to learn how to speak to people. Yes. And a lot of people are motivated by underdogs. They're motivated. The universe loves a good underdog story, and so do most societies, right? We love the people who don't know what they're doing, they don't know how, and they figure out how to do it through trial by fire, right? We love to hear those stories of the person who built their life from the ground up and managed to hold on to it. We all love to hear it, right? We all love to figure out how they did it so we can do the same. So why are we skipping steps? If you skip steps, it'll fall through your hands because you won't have built a solid foundation. It'll just crumble to the ground. Again, that doesn't make you an incapable person. It just means that you didn't learn the tools to keep it. You learned the tools to obtain it, but you didn't learn the tools to keep it. Yeah, that would be like the first inconvenience makes the whole thing fall down. And that we don't want that. We want that to last. Like I said, you got fated legacy here. So it's like, it's there. What you want wants you. I say it all the time. What you want wants you. So if you do desire that stable finances, that lifelong career that you love, it wants you too. You have to figure out how to get there and how to keep it. If it's resonating, it is for you. This is not a call to, judgment. This is not a call to go, go, go. No, I am not a person who will tell you to go until you burn out. That is not me. That's not the kind of message I give, right? I believe that everyone deserves a soft life. I believe that everyone deserves rest, being productive and rest, balancing those two out, right? We have the judgment here, the wake-up call. Yeah. That wake-up call. Yeah. The rushing is going to lead to things falling out of our hands. Take your time. Learn. Be hungry. Yeah. To build the solid foundation, you must take the time to build the foundation the right way. Shortcuts are great. Sometimes. Shortcuts are great, but not when we're building a foundation. When we're building a foundation, do it right. Don't do shortcuts. Right? You would want let's say you're building your own house, the ultimate dream for most people. You don't want the people you hire to put your brand new house on the wrong foundation and then you have to deal with the consequences later. No, build the foundation correctly. Go slow. Take your time. Be comfortable being new. This is a time where you get to learn all kinds of things. You only get to be new at things once. Enjoy the journey. Why else do they need to hear this at this time? Goodness gracious. And you notice how shuffling now, it's not as chaotic? Like I have a couple things here, but it's nowhere near as chaotic as it was a minute ago. Yes, be comfortable being new. And honestly, the more you learn, the more you study, the more you grow, the more you realize that, like, the more excited you are to be the student, because you learn that life is about constantly learning new things. Yes. Learning how to navigate our shadow side. Woo! Learning how to navigate chaos and when things go topsy-turvy. Learning how to be more emotionally balanced in those areas so that when they come up in our lives, we're better at handling it. Learning how to handle our finances, like all those types of things. We'll learn something new every single day. And if we're never comfortable at being new, at starting things, then we'll be stuck doing the same old thing and wondering why nothing ever changes. Yeah, we're resistant to that perspective shift. It's like we're trying to get that perspective shift, but we're resistant to it because it's uncomfortable being new. Yep. And there's the Queen of Swords. Yep, the Queen of Swords. I love the Queen of Swords, right? Because the King of Swords is the masculine side, as I said earlier, and then we have this feminine side. The King of Swords, the logical brain, and then the Queen of Swords, the feminine energy, also logical, also fair, but also tells you when to knock that shit off, right? Knock it out. Cut it out. It's like, it's okay to rest. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to learn things. It's okay to receive new information, new knowledge. It's okay to be new. Yes. So let's get into what do you need to do about it? Because I can tell you all day what and why, but what do you actually need to do about it, though? Who wants to talk? I'm feeling this one. A little purple deck. So let's see. What do they need to do about it at this time, Spirit? 2112, mirrored energies. That adds up to 6 for, again, the Lover's card, balancing. Finding that balance and that harmony. I had a ton of 6s in the numbers from today. Balance. Bringing that balance in. So, what do they need to do about it, Spirit? We have their what, we have their why. What do they need to do about this? Thank you. Okay, choose your happiness. What will make you happy? You have to figure that out first. What will actually make you happy, right? Because this can go either or. What do you want? Do you want your emotional fulfillment? Do you want your happiness? What does that look like? Or do you not want it? Get clear on that. That's what we've got. Yeah. We're trying to make it make sense, right? We're trying to rationalize why we deserve our happiness. We're trying to rationalize how to get it, right? You got to pick. Because it makes perfect logical sense that you should chase your happiness. It makes perfect logical sense that everybody should be happy. Why? Because we're more productive, we do more things, we live longer lives, we do better when we are happy. So it makes perfect logical sense that all of the employees, all of the people in our lives should be trying their best to be happy and go after their happiness. Yeah, 10-10. Cycle completions. You choose your happiness decides where you go, right? In the upright, better luck. Manifesting the emotional fulfillment. Manifesting our time at the top of the wheel. Down, we're miserable. We're miserable. Things just don't work out. We are constantly in this cycle repeat of not being happy. You choose. Your decision. You have to figure it out. What's your happiness? What's your happiness, and are you actually going to go for it? As you can sit here and try to rationalize it all day long, right? But the rational thing is, in order to be more productive, in order to bring these things into your life, you need to be happy doing it. That Ace of Pentacles. Once again, that Ace of Pentacles, right? That Ace of Pentacles is the new opportunity. Spirit bringing that little opportunity in the material realm, right? Again, we had that number of too much focus in the material realm and not enough in the spiritual. This is all about Spirit bringing in the opportunity. You want the opportunity. Spirit wants to bring it in, but we're too busy trying to rationalize why we should stick with the unhappy option over going after our happiness. That new beginning leads directly to the new beginning, right? It's risky. It's scary. Like I said, we don't know. We don't know because it's new. It's new and it's uncomfortable. It's new and it's uncomfortable. It's a new beginning. We're not sure. Yeah. Get out of your mental prison, friend. You're in a mental prison. You're in a mental prison. That's where we're at right now. We're in this mental prison of explaining to ourselves why we don't deserve our happiness, our emotional fulfillment. We're not happy where we're at, so why stay there? Yeah. When we stay, we really badly want to spark change, but we're resisting the change. We're trying to manifest change, but we're also resisting the change. Isn't that interesting? It's like I want the change, but when the change shows up, I'm afraid of it and I resist it. Again, I'm not saying this to make you feel bad or any type of way. It's to bring awareness. It's to bring awareness to your own patterns. These are your self-sabotaging cycles. I need it to make sense in order to do the thing. But if you look at it logically, right? Because I'm a Queen of Swords, I also think this way, right? If you look at it logically, the most productive anybody is when they are happy. If you are not happy in a job, you are not motivated to be there. You are not motivated to show up as your best self. You are not motivated to take care of yourself. We do our best when we are well rested, when we like what we're doing, and we are motivated. We're hungry to improve because we actually like showing up. That's usually when we go above and beyond, is when we enjoy where we're at. And everybody loves when the person taking care of us, when the doctor actually likes being a doctor and actually cares about their patients. You know what I mean? We don't like the people being in the nursing, the health field that hate their job because they're not going to care about our health and whether we're alive or not. The only reason they're going to care is to avoid a lawsuit, and nobody likes that. I would rather you actually care about me being alive than whether or not you're going to catch a lawsuit, right? I would much rather care that the chef preparing my food actually likes their job so I don't accidentally get food poisoning. You know? Like that's kind of how we all feel. We would rather work with the people who actually like being at their position. And if you think about it logically, it makes sense. It makes sense to have a society where the people enjoy the job they're in, because that means that their productivity and efficiency is at its peak. It's at its highest. And it stays there because people like where they are. They like being there. They like doing things. So it makes sense. Rationalizing to ourselves why we should stay where we're at because it makes sense doesn't make sense. Because you don't like it. You're not happy there. You're not putting in the work you should be putting in. You're not enjoying yourself. Yeah, we're resisting the change to become the Empress. We're resisting the change to become the Empress, the person who's happy with receiving, the person who's cool with taking breaks, the person who's all right with learning, who's all right with being creative. We're resisting this. Yeah, it's like that energy of smacking into a wall over and over again. I want the change, but I resist the change. I want the change, but I resist the change over and over again. Because I don't want to go in and feel like I'm lesser than. Yeah, we would rather hold on to the burdens. We would rather keep carrying the wands on our back, all of our motivations, our passions, and our dreams, right? That's where we're at. Our shadow side keeps us here. Our shadow side keeps us in this energy of keeping our heads down and doing the work we don't want to do day in, day out. We don't like it. So why are we doing it? And I always love the logical brain people. They're my kind of people too, right? But like, I love it because they're like, oh, well, logically speaking, that makes sense because like, how does that make sense? How explain to me logically how it makes sense to live your life like this? Why is this okay? Please explain. I would love to hear logically why a society built like this, why your life like this is okay. I don't think so. Yeah, because it just leads to internal conflict, constant internal conflict. Resentment builds up. We hate our job. We don't show up for it. And it bleeds out onto the people that are affected by the job we're doing. Yep. And then we look at the people who are chasing after their happiness, and do you know what happens? We don't like them. That's how we turn into those people. We basically try to create more of those. That turns people into those who step on other people to get where they want. It reiterates this cycle of stepping on others, this never-ending cycle loop of stepping on others and constantly having to defend yourself being guarded. That's what that leads to, right? This never-ending carrying everything leads to the internal conflict and the stepping on other people. I'm not saying that's you. I'm saying that, logically speaking, that's what happens. That's how we end up in that cycle repeat. And that's what our shadow side is doing. It's keeping us in that feedback loop because it's comfortable. We've been there for so long that we're used to it and we know the song and dance by now. We know how we get there, you know? We already know. So we're like, well, it's better to be in the constant cycle loop of what I'm familiar with because at least I know the suffering than to go into something new and experience all new possible suffering. That's kind of what that is. That's the logic behind the shadow side. It's I'd rather be stuck in the familiar pain than the unfamiliar possible new danger. Right? And that's just not a healthy way to live. And again, I'm not saying that to bash anyone. I'm bringing it to awareness. You're here for clarity and awareness. There it is. Yeah, that Knight of Pentacles and the Moon. Yeah, taking the shortcuts so we don't have to look at the armor, so we don't have to get uncomfortable. Nothing wrong with shortcuts. But again, if you want the stable foundation, you have to build it correctly. You have to build it correctly or else it continues to tumble down. Yeah, leaving behind the strategy, right? That taking, like trying to get one over on things. Yeah. What else do they need to do about it at this time, Spirit? Because society, like, that's again that scarcity mindset. There's never enough. That's perspective change. Yes, we need to make the perspective change. It's okay to be new at something. You're not lesser because you're new. You're just new. It's the time to learn, to grow. You get the chance to evolve. Every time you're new, that means you get to evolve again. You get to change. You get to become better than you were before. It's not a dig. It doesn't mean you're lesser. It doesn't mean you know what you're doing. Like, it doesn't mean that you do not know what you're talking about. All it means is that you're somewhere new and it's uncomfortable, but you grow in the discomfort and you become different. You become better, right? There's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, this perspective shift. Not being happy with our lives. Yeah, because it's not what we wanted. It's a lot of unnecessary giving. It's a lot of unnecessary giving, not having the abundance that we want, and not being happy over and over and over again. That's the current cycle repeat, right? Looking at our lives and not liking what we put all of our time into. Not having the legacy and all that we wanted. We're not at that abundant level yet. Too much overgiving. Constant burnout. Give. Right? People taking. Putting up with stuff you don't really deserve. Showing up at jobs you don't really like. Right? That overgiving. Burnout. Not getting enough. Not being compensated properly for your efforts. Not being the abundant king. We had that King of Wands. We had that King of Swords. So all this ambition, all this drive, all these smarts, all this intelligence, going forward towards bringing in what you want, actively trying to manifest what you want. But because we're going at it in this specific way, we're constantly stuck in this not feeling abundant. And it feels like we're being punished. Yeah. Feels like we're being punished. Yep. Last one, and then I'll get into the next bit. Yeah, the 9 of Cups. We feel like we're being punished when all we want is our 9 of Cups. All we want is our wish. We want our wish. Well, to get your wish, you have to switch your perspective, friend. You have to start as a page. This new thing you want to do, you need to be the page. If you want to pivot, if you want to go towards your happiness, you need to be comfortable with starting new, being new. That's okay. It's okay to be new. All right? You're already unhappy where you're at. It's time to go be new. See how he has his little sword? Forever a student. When you start accepting that life is all about being forever the student, things become more peaceful, because now instead of being like, oh God, I have to start all over again, I get to learn all these new things. I have an opportunity to evolve, to grow, to change, to bring more experience. The new knowledge and experience I get from this, I can put towards further projects. This is just adding on to what I can provide later on for myself. That's what this is. That's the perspective shift, right? Yes, it feels like a drag, but think of it as you're building your skills for your next venture. You're literally, I've said this before, oh my goodness, you're your biggest asset. You're your most important asset in your life. You're the one showing up and doing the work. You're the one getting your money. You're the one bringing that into your life, right? Every time you go start something new, you are building your skills. You're turning yourself, your biggest asset, into a bigger asset, because you're adding more skills, you're adding more knowledge, you're adding this experience onto yourself. So we're trying to be like, how am I possibly going to stand out? By learning, by growing, by showing up. The biggest way you can stand out is being open to learning, because most people come in and they're not open to learning. They're not open to learning, they're not open to growing, and they never get anywhere, and then wonder why they're like, that's usually what turns them into the reverse King of Wands. I've been working here for 30 years and you should listen to me because I know what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, they still can't memorize the recipe that the place is known for. They still have to read it. You've been there for 30 years, you should know it by now. You know, you've been there longer than the newest executive chef, you should know the recipe by now, right? But you want me to follow your advice. You take your own advice, buddy. You know, like that energy, right? Be open to learning, be open to changing, be open to growth, be open to evolving. That's what makes you stand out. Being hungry for knowledge and change makes you a cut above the rest, okay? So, I'm feeling called to go to the advice oracle cards, right? But first, before I get into that, I want to do a small recap. I like to post a summarized video for people who can't make them live. So just bear with me for one moment and we will get into the advice on how to go from here. So, this collective is trying to start over new somewhere in their career, in their material realm. We're trying to start over. We've discovered a truth recently that we're not really happy with our current situation, right? But it's like we're trying to manifest a new opportunity, a change in our career field, but we're a bit resistant to it. Our shadow side keeps coming up. We're very much an intelligent person, right? With this King of Swords here. Very, very much someone who leads with their head. Very, very intelligent, very logical brain, very analytical. And we keep going back and forth on whether it's okay, whether it makes logical sense to go towards the pivot, to go towards this new career leap. And this is very much our shadow energy, right? Because logically speaking, it makes sense to go after what makes you happy. You work your best, you show up as your best self when you're happy being there. But we have some wounds here, right? we want to go somewhere where we no longer, like, we feel like we always have to give constantly. Give constantly, try to, like, in a world where everybody's always giving their unsolicited opinions and advice, we feel like we have to kind of, what's the word? Like I said, fake the funk, right? I saw it many, many times here. We're trying to figure out how to get above the rest so that we stand at the top. It's very much been taught to us our whole lives, that in order to succeed in life, you have to do all these things. You have to, like, step on people. You have to work overly hard. You have to be the first one, like the earliest person there and the last one to leave, those kinds of things, right? I have to know exactly how to show up for an interview. I have to know exactly what the correct answers are, like all those types of things, trying to use strategy in order to get ahead. But we're also kind of getting these intuitive hits to do some loops. Like, I love to see this, right? It's like intuitive hits, strategical thinking, against against tradition, right? It's like we're getting some intuitive nudges on how to get through the loopholes of society. Because it's like we're trying to, a society that's kind of built around being unhappy, right? So it's basically, how can I rig the system that's built on my unhappiness? That's kind of where we're at, right? How can I rig it? How can I get past it? Like, that's kind of where we're at. And like, we have these plans to get to this new position, to get to this career pivot, but we're trying to rationalize it. We're trying to find the way to rig the system, right? We have these plans. We have this perspective shift too. We're trying to bring in this perspective shift because, again, we're trying to fake the funk. We're very much in our devil energy at this moment of being like, oh, well, if I try to chase my happiness, here's all the reasons why it's not going to work. If I try to go after this new career path, here's why it's not going to work. Because maybe we started one in the past and it didn't really work. So it keeps coming up of, well, it didn't work last time, so it shouldn't this time, that kind of thing. But we're trying to balance that out. We're trying to get more into our, no, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to go get it. And here's why I deserve it, right? That kind of energy. And the reason that you're being told this at this time is because, yes, we're in our King of Swords, but we're also in our King of Wands reverse, right? We're very much the leader we want to be. We're very much intellectual. We're very much someone who's very fair. We are looking at it logically, but we're also in this moment of being afraid that if we start over new, people are not going to respect us, right? They're not going to respect us because we have some kind of wound here, some kind of belief that starting over new somehow means that you're not worthy of respect, right? We want to leave behind this constant pattern of people and their unsolicited advice. So perhaps in your current career field or the most recent career field, if you've just left it, that was an issue of people being like, oh, well, we've always done it this way. Your opinion doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. You're just new, that kind of thing. So we have some kind of recurring belief around this. We want to go after our legacy, right? You want to go after your legacy, but we're trying to take shortcuts. We're trying to skip the journey. We're trying to, we want the people to respect us. We want people to hear our opinion without actually showcasing why they should hear our opinion in the first place, right? We want those new connections. We want for the job to be that thing of, be the job that we like. We want for the people to respect us, to respect our opinion, to basically treat us like the supervisor, even if we aren't coming in as the supervisor, right? Which is fine. It's okay to want those things, but you would not respect someone coming in trying to be the boss if they've only been there for a month, because they're not the boss yet. They haven't showcased why you should listen to them, right? But yeah, that's just because we're feeling like, being new means that we're somehow going to be bullied or victimized, right? We're very much inspired to leave our shell, right? We're inspired to leave our shell and to get better with our finances as well. So we're inspired to do these things, and that's beautiful, right? Because what you want wants you. we're inspired to do these things, but again, we're trying to manifest this big change. We're trying to manifest this new career pivot, this new position. We're trying to call it in, but we are also not necessarily paying attention to the fact that you cannot make shortcuts. You can't make shortcuts when it comes to new foundations. It has to be built correctly. Otherwise, it will come crumbling down the moment you get it, right? You manifest the position, you get the position, and then it falls through your hands because we didn't really learn how to be a good leader. We didn't really learn to hold the thing we have when we get it, right? And that's kind of a wake-up call. This is the wake-up call. It's like, hey, you're rushing. You're rushing. You have to build the foundation the right way. You have to make sure the foundation is good before you get to the next part. You need to make this perspective shift. There's nothing wrong with being new. There's nothing wrong with starting new and beginning again. Absolutely nothing wrong. What Spirit wants you to do about it is they want for you to figure out what, like, again, we're in this back and forth energy of trying to rationalize going after what makes us happy. Trying to rationalize why we should even make this perspective shift in the first place, right? We're trying to figure that out. Do I go after my emotional fulfillment or don't I? Do I stay where I'm at, where I don't really like it, or do I go after what will make me happy, right? I'm trying to rationalize it. But you have to make your decision, right? You have to make your decision. If you go after it, you get to the top of the wheel, the new thing comes in, right? Because you're actually going after it. If you say, no, I'll stay where I'm at, it's a cycle repeat. It's the same stuff you've been dealing with and you don't get the new opportunity, right? Now, obviously, life is an ever crooked path and you are never off of it, right? So no matter what decision you make, you'll be okay. It's just a matter of, do I want to continue the cycle over again or do I want to start new, right? You want that new beginning. Well, first you have to decide to go after your happiness and leave the mental prison behind. Leave the mental prison behind. Because what we're doing is we're currently trying to manifest. We're currently trying to call in this new position. But every time that we go back and forth on whether or not we deserve it, whether we will be treated like we've earned it, we call more of that old energy in of, oh, I have to be a leading expert in my field in order for people to value my opinion, which is not the case at all. Most people really like new people because it's a change, it's refreshing, it's new. It's new energy, new perspectives, new ideas, new experiences, right? Lighting some incense here for more clearing energy. But it's like that kind of energy, right? Of we want the change, but we resist the change. Yeah, we want the change, but we resist the change. We call in the change and we resist it over and over again. We don't want to be the empress. We don't want to receive the thing we asked for because it doesn't quite, we're like, oh, well, no, in order to start a new thing, I have to have already like done all this stuff. In order to start a new career field, I have to have a whole new degree, right? I have to have a whole new degree. I have to have 20 plus. It's kind of like when you apply for a job and they require you to have 20 plus years of experience in said job in order to get the job. It's that kind of logic, right? That's what's happening here, right? And because we are constantly resisting this change, right? We're a bit more like, no, I'll just stay where I'm at. I'll stay where I'm at. I'll carry my wands. I'll carry it along. And that creates more inner conflict. That creates more of following the status quo, of stepping on everyone, not feeling motivated, not going after our dreams, trying to find the shortcuts, ignoring that pain, ignoring that wound that needs to be addressed, ignoring that belief system, right? And it leads more towards the manipulation and all that kind of stuff. It leads more towards following the patterns of what people normally do, which is stay in a job you hate, step on everyone, and just breed more resentment and status, right? We need that perspective shift. We need to leave that behind, okay? We need to leave it behind. Because the more that we resist this, the more we stay in looking at our lives, not being happy with where we're at, not calling in the legacy and abundance we're trying to get, always feeling like we're overgiving, right? Overgiving and not being in our abundance, feeling like we're being punished our entire lives in this cycle repeat because we don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to be uncomfortable and change and grow, right? We want our happiness. But in order to get your happiness, you have to start new. If you want a new position, you have to start new. You have to get comfortable with being new. You have to get comfortable with learning, okay? Otherwise, you're just going to stay bored. You're going to stay bored and dissatisfied, right? You're going to be so focused over here on what you don't have that you won't notice the thing showing up right here. This little opportunity here, right? This little opportunity here. This little hand reaching out saying, hey, here's the thing you asked for. Here's the thing you asked for. And then you constantly going, well, I don't really deserve it because I haven't done X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? So that's the recap. Let's get into the Oracle Advice cards. And I like the Oracle Advice cards because they give you a bit more food for thought to think on as you go forward, right? And they also, I'm thinking, do I want to do the Beast Soul or Spirit Animal? Let's do the Spirit Animal Oracle Advice. So I like those because they have sentences that I feel are very helpful. And they also have animals for further confirmation if you are looking for animals. So I'm just moving everybody out of the way here, and I'll get into the Oracle Advice cards. And again, thank you all for being here on Monday, for spending time with me. Thank you for everyone who's liked this live, who's commented, who's shared, reposted, all that stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you. You've been absolutely wonderful. I've had a great time today. So, and for all the gifts, oh my goodness, thank you guys for the gifts too. I absolutely, it's never expected, but I'm very, very happy and appreciative that anyone sends me anything. Thank you so much. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you. I'm always surprised when anybody sends me anything. So let's see. Spirit, let's ease their anxieties and their fears. You want them to give their anxieties and fears around money and career to you so that you can transmute it into their abundance. So let's ease some of it a bit. Let's give them some extra guidance. Wonderful. And kind of give them some advice on how to proceed forward. Thank you so much. Some closing advice from my wonderful collective here today. Thank you so much for the gifts. Some advice from my collective here today. Advice from my collective here today, Spirit. Don't be shy. I see one, but I only listen to the ones that are up here, okay? I don't like when they flip over. Thank you. There's that sideways again. Co-create with Spirit with the number 17. So that's, yeah, either or. Again, whenever I see a card do sideways, that tells me that we're either or. This is where we're currently at. All right, we're trying to manifest, but we're not meeting Spirit where they're at, okay? Co-create with Spirit. When it's in the reverse, this tells me that we feel like we're doing all this work, but Spirit's not doing their end of the bargain. In the upright, that talks about Spirit meeting you halfway. So that's kind of where we're at, right? We're putting in all this work, but we're still resistant to the change, so Spirit can't meet us in the middle. They can't give you the change and the opportunity if you don't accept the gift. If they give you a gift and you keep swatting your hand away, they can't give it to you, and then you say it's their fault for not giving you what you wanted. That's kind of the energy I'm getting here. Yeah, and crows are, they represent messages from the divine. So it's like it showed up, but we're scared of it. And bring a gentle touch with the deer. Okay. That's that. Again, we're resisting the Empress too. We're resisting receiving our gift. We're resisting that rest. We're resisting, like, why do you feel like you can't go after your happiness? Why specifically you are not allowed to go after what you want? Okay? Yeah, why do you feel like you don't deserve to go after the career that makes you happy? Why? That's kind of where we're at. Spirit's calling you out here. They're saying, we're giving you the gift, but you keep telling me you don't deserve the gift. Why? Need to address this. Time for a deep dive. That's more of the same from that blue. Blue's so heavy. Someone here could resonate with Archangel Michael. That's his color right there. And 60. Number 60 here. Someone here could be 60. 6 is the lovers. Again, that union between our ambitious go-getter energy, our chasing, our going after things, and then the other energy of creative, nurturing, following our intuition, and receiving. Time for a deep dive. Why do you feel like you don't deserve the career you want? Why do you feel like you don't deserve this opportunity? What new reasons are you using to justify why you don't deserve it? That you're calling logic. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out because I hear it all the time. Oh, well, that's just logical. I'm a logic person too. Most of the times when we say, oh, it's logical, it's not. It's not logical at all. What are you talking about? Because again, what's logical is for every person who's out there working to be doing a job that they like because they show up as their best self. They show up rested, they show up enjoying what they do, and therefore are motivated to be productive. So if you don't like where you're at and you're saying it's realistic and logical for me to stay there, no, it's not, friend. No, it's not. You can go make more money at the job you like. There's someone out there doing it right now. You just don't know how yet, and that's scary. You're scared of it because you want to show up and get the money you're making now over there without doing the process. Bring your ideas to life. More of that blue. I'm telling you, more of that expression, right? More of that expression. Bring your ideas to life. It's like you're resisting that. The ideas in here are specifically related to what you're afraid of touching, you're afraid of looking at. And then Spirit has a plan in the reverse. Yeah, you feel like if you go after it, Spirit's not going to catch you. Spirit will catch you every time. If you go after what you want, if you have a calling in your soul, like something you feel in your bones, you have no rational explanation for why you want to go do it. 4, 5, 6 just showed up for progression and steps. If you have no idea why you want to go after this thing, but it feels correct, it feels right, and you can't explain it, you should be doing it. That's your inner calling. That's your intuition, right? It's the one thing that won't stop nagging you over and over and over again. It's the thing you've wanted to do your whole life, but you've listened to everyone else and you've gone after the rational choice, the safe choice, but you hate it. And you're thinking, if I pivot, Spirit won't catch me. Spirit loves when you go after your soul calling. That's literally like you're following your own plan. You're following the purpose. Their entire point of them being here is to help you follow your purpose, to help you stay on the path, to help you grow and evolve. So why would they not catch you? Why would they not assist you in the plan that you asked for before you came here? Hey, I want to do this. I want to learn how to choose myself in this lifetime, right? I want to actually go for my passion. Help me do so. And then you come here and you're like, okay, I want to do this thing, but I don't want to do it. And Spirit's like, but okay. They got to respect your free will, but if you're constantly telling them no, then okay, all right, that's what you want. I'll come back again in like 3 to 5 business years and offer the opportunity again. We'll see if we want to repeat the roller coaster ride. You know? And again, it's never a dig at you. That's literally what you're supposed to be doing. That's the whole point. You come here and you forget those things. You forget that you made a plan. You forget all that stuff in order to learn it. In order to learn it in this lifetime. And they're supposed to help you. So they expect resistance. They expect you to resist it, but they also expect for you to finally accept it at some point. And if you're here listening to me, it's because you want that clarity, and they're telling you, we got you. Go after the thing. Just because you don't believe that they've got you doesn't mean that they don't have you. That's just your belief. Yeah, time to let go. Let go of that. Yeah, 31. Someone could be 31. Or your birthday could be on the 31st. You believe, Like this belief, this anxiety, this clinging to this pattern, they want you to let it go because they got you. Welcome back, Ar. What's that? Green. Very good. And green for heart chakra here healing. Yeah, like they got you. They got it. They got it. Any other advice for my collective here today before I release them to the wilds? It's like they want you to let go of that thought process, that belief. Trust in divine detours. Oh, that Tower card. Trust in it, friends. Yes, it's not going to make sense. No, it's not supposed to. If it made sense, you would continue where you're at. Because a lot of times our logic as humans is based off of how we were raised in the societal logic, right? Which is why everyone's okay with working at dead-end jobs that treat them like crap and don't pay them enough. That's like, nowhere does that make logical sense if you really think about it. If you look at like proper numbers on how, like all the studies they do on how people who like their job, who are well rested, do better and bring more into the economy and all that stuff. But like almost everywhere on the planet, we don't follow that logic. And then we're like, oh, it makes logical sense to stay where I'm at, to follow the safe job, even though I hate it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, actually, though. But the detour is here to put you out of the I have to follow logic and follow, like, the logic comes later. I like to say that science is just magic we've figured out, that we actually have come to understand, right? Yeah, watch and wait. We want to rush. We want to rush into things. We want to be the boss before we're the boss, before we actually know what we're doing yet. When what we're supposed to be doing is learning. Learning. It's okay to be new. It's okay. It's okay to observe. It's okay to learn from the people who have been there before, because you'll become them. It'll just take a little bit of time, and that's okay. You got a whole life to live. It can take a little bit. It's all right. No need to run. Life isn't a race. It's a journey. Take the scenic route. And give with gratitude and grace with the turkey spirit here in the reversed. Yeah. Every time I see this, it's like forgetting that the whole give and take relationship between us, others, everything else also includes us. We're supposed to be receiving. We're forgetting that we're allowed to receive too. Like, why aren't you allowed to receive anything? Why aren't you allowed to receive help? Why aren't you allowed to receive advice? Why aren't you allowed to learn? Why? Why though? Why? Why are you the only one that's not allowed to get things? Is there some kind of thinking that by receiving you're somehow being pitied? That's something that I hear a lot. Oh, I can't accept help because then I'll owe someone, or I'll pity them, or that they'll pity me. They pity me by offering me help. No. That is a wound from people taking advantage of you once upon a time that you are now making, like, you forgot that that's just because people are shitty sometimes. And it's not that people help you because they want something from you or that you'll owe them a favor, okay? Why are you not allowed to receive as much as you give? That's that deep dive, friends. Why are you not allowed to do the same? Everyone else can rest and take their time and learn and all that stuff, but for some reason you're not allowed to. You need to address that, friends. You need to address it. If you want to be an inspiring leader, if you want to have this abundance and stuff like that, you have to address that part of yourself that's afraid to receive, that's afraid to be new, that's afraid to start over. Thank you. Oh, 1616. Ask for assistance in repairing or readjusting to something that may be hindering or bothering you and causing anxiety. Give your worries and concerns to spirit. Let them have it. They aren't going to come calling you and saying, all right, when are you going to repay me for the time that I helped you out of this mess? Spirit doesn't do that. You wanted change. They showed up with change. You said, okay, you're in the energy of receiving change. Accept the gift. Accept the change. Yeah. Overcome any obstacle. What did I say earlier? I like that this is upright. If this was in reverse, that would be what I said earlier about bashing your head into the wall. We're at that point now where when we start learning that it's okay to receive too, we actually are able to start tackling things. We're actually able to not be so afraid of the new because we're okay with change. We're okay with things being different. We're okay with things being new. And therefore, we're able to handle anything, right? Able to handle it. And yeah, rhinos are actually very skittish animals. Did you know that? They are very nearsighted. They can't see anything. They have to be right up in your face to see you. But they have extremely good hearing and they smell. So they hear you and smell you before anything else. And that makes them very skittish. Because imagine that you're unable to see anything unless you're right up on it, right? For those of you who are nearsighted, you get it. But imagine not being able to see things before they come to you. You'd be afraid of everything. You'd be afraid of everything. And that's how rhinos are, right? The only defense they have is the horn on their head. That's it. So of course they're going to run into things because they're scared of everything. That's you, friends. You can't really see it coming. You can't see the thing, so we're afraid of it. Everything's scary. And that doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that you're very cautious. And the being cautious is leading you to talk yourself out of something that would actually be good for you because you're not sure if it's good for you unless it's in your face. Confirmation. Yeah. Last little bit, and then I'll release y'all. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's a recurring theme of just, I'll go see in just a minute, okay? Wait just a minute. Thank you. Yeah. We can't see it, so it's scary, so we don't want to go towards it. But we're also afraid of receiving things, because we're like, what if they'll come collect? Let it shine. Yes. Let it shine. You want it. You want to go be the leader. You want to go get your change. Receive it. Receive it, friends. You have it. It's coming to you because you're allowed to hold it. You're allowed to be it. You have to get comfortable with the process in order to shine. But you're like the peacock. You're perfectly. You stand out already. You already stand out. You don't need to prove it. You already do. Because you're smart, because you are hungry for knowledge, because you're adaptable, because you're flexible, right? Be fearless and bold with the number 4. Let it shine. You're already all of these things. It's time to be fearless. It's time to go after it. Don't be afraid of the change. Embrace the change. Embrace it. Embrace the change. Change is only scary if you let it be scary. Like spirits got you. They're here. They're here. They got you. Okay? You wanted the change. They bring the change. Embrace the change. Spirit has your back. You think they don't have your back? Who have we seen so far? Who's been here this entire time? Who's been here? I want you to read it with me. Co-create with spirit. Let me put them upright so you can read it. Co-create with spirit. Spirit has a plan. Spirit has your back. You wanted the change. You asked for the change. You got the change. Now take the change. They have the gift in their hand. Receive the gift. Receive it. Okay? Receive it. You think they're not there. They've been there. They're literally everywhere in this reading. Ancestors. Ancestors. Fate. I'm telling you. And then 3 spirit cards out of this whole deck. Divine detours. Out of this entire deck. You got 3 spirit cards. Just because you can't perceive them doesn't mean they're not there. You have 5 senses as a human being. They don't exist in our 5 senses. They choose whether or not you perceive it. Surrender now. This red right here is our root chakra. It's our stability, our foundation, our security. It's what we were taught. And that yellow is our inner confidence, our self-confidence. Surrender now, friend. Spirit says, let us give it to you. Stop asking for change and then swatting it away because you don't know what it is. Let us give it to you. Of course it's scary. Change is scary. Freedom is yours. They're trying to give you that freedom you want. With the 33, freedom's yours, friend. Do you want to know what 2026 is? The year of the horse and the year of Capricorn. We literally got Capricorn and we got the horse. In the 3rd house with communication and collaboration. Surrender now. Freedom is yours, friend. Saying, co-create with spirit. You need to get on the same page. Address that wound. Address it. Address it. Get in there. Actually dig deep. Ask yourself why you feel so uncomfortable with receiving what you ask for. Why you feel so uncomfortable with being new. Ask yourself these questions. Really get into it. Figure out why you have this relationship, why you're so addicted to being like in this cycle of never getting what you want, okay? Figure out why. Once you figure out why, you can do something about it. You can actually do something about it. The number 5 is relevant, right? Change, positive change. And 7, for mysticism and spirituality. Spiritual change. Embrace it, friend. Okay? So, that is all I have for you today. I hope that was helpful. I hope it resonated. Goodness, my kiddo is over here. If you would like a personal reading, I offer those at the link in my bio. Feel free to check it out, see if I vibe with you. The number of cards that it says on there is just talking about tarot cards. I also include the oracle advice, signs and synchronicities, channeled songs, dice, runes, charms, all of those things, okay? It's not just 3 cards. It's all of it. It's not just 3 cards and it's not just 10 cards. It's everything you've seen here today. That's what I offer, okay? So check it out, see if I vibe with you. I plan on offering more at some point. I'm thinking videos, but I'm trying to get my schedule to work with that, right? But goodness, yeah, I offer that at the link in my bio. If you're watching from YouTube, when I post this later, that'll be the link in the description box. So yeah, check it out, see if I vibe with you. If I do not vibe with you, and this is the last I see of you, thank you for your time and your energy. Thank you for choosing me to be your reader for today. I wish you so much love, luck, abundance, joy, healing, peace, and happiness on your journey. Please remember that life is an ever crooked path and you are never off of it, okay? And if you have chosen to follow me and you do vibe with me, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you as well for your time and your energy for choosing me to be your reader. Thank you for your time today. And yeah, I wish all the same for you as well. and hi, future editing me here. I don't know why the live recording cut off all of a sudden, but I was just trying to say, if you follow me, if you watch my content and all that, thank you first and foremost for following me. Thank you for your time and energy for choosing me to be your reader. And I wish all of the same for you as well. All the time, every live, always. Yeah, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, beautiful rest of your journey, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!